The developers over at Respawn have found quite a few ways to spice up Apex Legends. One of the ways they decided to do this is to add in rare animations. I think they might have done this because, first of all, it's really cool to see a rare animation and kind of feel like you're a little bit lucky. And second of all, I think they just might be messing with us a little bit because up to date, I don't think we have really fully understood the rare animations in Apex Legends. With my most popular video on this channel with over 675,000 views, my first video on the rarest animations, I think it certainly did bring light to the rare animations in the Apex community. With my rare animations video, I spent about 3 days in game just testing out and trying to find the rarest animations and seeing how likely you were to get that rare animation. But even after all of that work and research, I still did mess up on that video quite a bit. So in this video, I'm gonna use all of the information that the Apex community knows about the rare animations, plus my own personal experience from making that rare animations video and the comments since that video. And also, ever since that video, I've really been focusing in-game on the rare animations. So I think in this video, I'm gonna have dialed down what the rare animations are and how they can be triggered and how likely they are. So this is gonna be a new list on the rarest animations. This should just be about the most accurate rare animations video up to date. The first part of the video, I'm gonna talk about the animations that were misconceived to be rare but are actually not rare. And then the next portion of the video, I'm gonna talk about the rarest animations in Apex Legends. I'm gonna start off with the least rare item on my list and work all the way up to the rarest animation in Apex Legends there currently is. Without further delay, I'm Alarmix, and let's get into the video. So to start off this video, I'm gonna talk about a few animations that I thought were rare, but it turns out they are not rare whatsoever. So an example of this is the Wraith OK sign. The Wraith OK sign, the few clips that we have of them, I believe there are 3 of them really anywhere. The ones we do have of this Wraith OK sign are very famous, and some have went as far to say as these are made up, they're animated, or that this Wraith OK sign doesn't even exist. Well, I'm here to tell you today, if you think that this Wraith OK sign doesn't exist in the game today, you're certainly correct. The Wraith OK sign is no longer in Apex Legends. There are other YouTubers that have explained how we know that the Wraith OK sign is not in Apex Legends anymore, aside from the fact that we have no recent clips of this Wraith OK sign. So I'm not going to steal their content for this video, but why I think Respawn took the Wraith OK sign out of the game, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. So there's this anonymous online messaging board called 4chan. It's kind of like Reddit, except you don't have to make a username or profile or anything, which makes your messages and posts pretty much untraceable. Now, a large part of these 4chan users, they partook in this operation called OKKK. The users of 4chan wanted to see if they could make the OK sign a symbol of white power or white supremacy. Apparently, a lot of these users of 4chan, they went around to a bunch of little threads on the internet, pretty much every little place they could find on the internet, and they spread around the word that this OK sign is a symbol of white supremacy. And towards December of last year, it seems that this started to succeed a lot. Apparently, this operation took a long time to complete, so we started seeing that the OK sign started being associated with white supremacy somewhere even quite a bit before December of last year, because this Wraith OK sign, it was removed from Apex Legends somewhere around October of last year. This is only a theory why the Wraith OK sign is no longer in Apex Legends, but I think up to date this is just about the best theory that we can give it on why Respawn would remove even something that they brought over from the Titanfall series to Apex Legends, which was the OK sign. So now I'm going to talk about the Octane stim animation. Right as I posted the rare animations video, you know, just within the first few hours, I got so many comments of people telling me that the Octane stim animation where he spins his stim on his finger and pushes it towards the ground, that is not rare because they have seen it so many times. Well, it turns out you, my people who thought that and said that, you are certainly correct and I was wrong. Right as I posted that video, I had a bunch of people message me that there was a way to trigger this animation. I never really looked into how to do that until very recently. I know Gaming Merchant made an entire video on that a little while after I made that rare animations video, but I'll show you guys a clip of me doing this in the firing range. Octane has 2 rare animations, and doing this thing to trigger the stim animation, it is pretty much the key to Octane's rare animations. So how you actually go about doing this is, okay, your Octane, you stim, and then you can run around a while stimmed, but then you'll start to hear the ability wind down. Like, you'll hear a noise cue that the stim is about to end. Right as you hear that noise cue, I think it's around 2 seconds before the stim actually stops, you melee, and then right once you're done with that melee, you spam the tactical button, you spam the stim, and then Octane should do one of 2 things. If you do it right, I messed up twice in this clip, he will either do the stem spin animation, or he'll do what we'll call the jazz hands animation. So I think with both of Octane's animations that you can get from triggering his rare animations from performing this technique, I think you can get both of them without doing this technique. I know the jazz hands, from just playing Octane and from experimenting in the firing range, I think the Octane jazz hands animation is about a 1 in 50 chance to where every time you're done stimming that he'll just do the jazz hands. But with the Octane stem spin animation, that's where things get a little bit tricky. When I was doing my original rare animations video, I did the Octane stem maybe 300 times or so. Like, I spent all day, I think it was like even 2 full days in games just stimming. It was kind of a waste of time, but I mean, that video certainly paid off at the end. There are clips of people doing this stem spin animation that did not melee and that did not perform this technique at all. So I'd have to just guesstimate that this Octane stem spin animation without performing this technique, there is maybe a 1 in 500 chance that this will happen, maybe even 1 in 1000, but that's just a complete guesstimation. I think the Wraith OK sign, before they removed that from the game, that was somewhere around a 1 in 1000 chance, and that I think that's about the same for an animation that we'll be talking about coming up. I think the rarest of the rare animations that Respawn has given us, I think you have to perform the same action about 1,000 times over. There's about a 1 in 1000 chance. I don't think Respawn actually went any more rare than that. But yeah, this technique, the key to Octane's rare animations, where you melee and then spam the stim button. If you just melee, when you hear the Octane ability coming to an end, it'll straight up just put the stim away. And then when you sit there and spam the stim animation, it'll kind of like force the stim back out, and that's where he'll do one of 2 rare animations. It's weird because when I was doing it, Octane's arm was glitching out for the stim spin animation. So I don't know, it's kind of a weird bug in the game. I'm guessing Respawn purposely added in this trigger, this way to trigger Octane's rare animations, but I think it's a pretty cool thing added into the game. After this next animation, there is no specific way to trigger these animations. You're just gonna have to perform the same action over and over again and have to get lucky. So this next one I'm gonna talk about very quickly is the Peacekeeper flip animation. So if you're doing something that requires one hand to take care of while you're shooting your Peacekeeper, such as going up a zip line or stimming when you're Octane, and then you shoot the Peacekeeper, it will flip the Peacekeeper. There's a way to trigger that, so it's not really rare. I thought I would include that in this video just to kind of entertain you guys and further expand your Apex Legends knowledge. Why not? So now Revenant, with his ultimate ability, when you activate it, he does have a random set of animations, and some of these are more rare than others. So starting off with the 2 least rare on my list, I have 3 total. First of all, we have the skull animation. This is the one where Revenant will whip out the skull and press its eyes in to activate his death totem. And the next one is the Naruto animation. This is the one where he does all the ninja crazy hands stuff. There's a glitch in firing range where you can spam Revenant's ultimate ability, and I tried to do this as close to 100 times as I could get. So I didn't do it exactly 100 times, but I got pretty close to that, and I got a pretty good understanding on how rare Revenant's ultimate ability animations are. So after about 100 tries, I got the skull animation and the Naruto animation about 5 times each. It's pretty widely accepted that the Naruto animation and the skull animation, they are both about the same level of rarity. I think in my first rare animations video, I said the skull animation is about a 1 in 20 chance, and after much further testing, this remains to be true. The second rarest animation you will see in Apex Legends is the Revenant hands lock animation. When I was doing my testing where I spammed Revenant's ultimate ability right around 100 times, I got this animation once. When I did my first rare animations video, I feel like the internet's knowledge on this animation, there was very little of it out there. So I apologize for me messing up on that video, even though I spent so long working on it. But this hands lock animation, it certainly looks cool, and this is an in-game reference to Suicide Squad. I guess I'll roll a clip of that. Credit to Titan Gaming because he was the first one to talk about this in a video. This is where Enchantress, she puts her hand on the table, and then another hand comes up and locks, flips over her arm, and then she turns into, you know, the scary Enchantress lady. So I think it's really cool how Respawn, they add in-game references pretty much everywhere. They had one with the Naruto animation, and obviously this Revenant handlock animation. I wonder if there's an in-game reference to that Revenant skull animation. If someone could figure that out and let me know in the comments below, I would be absolutely pleased. But people, without further ado, the rarest animation in Apex Legends that there currently is right now is the G7 M1 Garand reload animation. So to make this animation actually happen, you have to have the G7. You have to fully empty out an entire G7 mag. You cannot click the reload button. You have to let it reload on its own. And then there's somewhere around, it's really hard to say, but maybe a 1 in 1,000 chance. I might lean towards maybe a 1 in 500 or 1 in 200 chance. It's really hard to say because there's only a handful of people that have really ever got this animation. There's maybe 3 to 5 clips of this really anywhere. For my rare animations video, I spent about maybe a full hour in firing range just spamming the G7. I didn't have a mag on it, so I just emptied out 10 rounds, let it reload, emptied out 10 rounds, let it reload. And guys, it took quite a while. My PC started to overheat, but I'll throw this clip up for you guys. Your boy Alarmix is now an owner of a very exclusive clip, the G7 reload animation. There are so many people claiming to get rare animations in this game, but to actually get a clip of this, a clean clip of this, it is very difficult. My clip wasn't even very clean. My PC was just overheating, and when I saw this clip that it was lagging, I mean, I was still happy that I got the clip, but it was pretty disappointing. If you get the Revenant handlock animation or the G7 reload animation and it is recorded, you should certainly feel special. I'll put a link to my Twitter in the description if you want to send me that clip if you actually get it. There's gonna be people in the comments of this video claiming they get the Wraith OK sign still today, but people, there are no clips of the Wraith OK sign on World's Edge, or really any clips. I think the last clip of the Wraith OK sign was like somewhere around 7 months ago. There are also rare animations with Pathfinder's boxing gloves. Like Revenant's ultimate ability, Pathfinder's boxing gloves has a set of unique animations, and some are more rare than others, but I don't have access to the Pathfinder's boxing gloves, and most people don't, so I did not include that in this video. But anyways, people, that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys later.